So this is where I've ended up installing the heater. Just to orientate you, that's the front of the camper with the big box at the front before the main camper, then the beam, and it's gone between that first beam and the front water tank. The wheels are back there and the second water tank at the rear. This is the main skirt of the floorboard. Still need to put some silicone around here. This is the air intake hose. For the moment, I've just stuck that on top of the front water tank. I've also got a silencer that I've bought because I thought it was a little bit loud, and it's actually the intake, the air rushing into the intake, that makes most of the noise with this thing. This is the fuel line. So as you can see, I've got that fiber around it. So that I've come down and I've tried to take it away from the muffler as quick as I could. So that's why it's going over the top of this air intake hose. This is the pump. So it's placed at a slight angle going up towards the heater. There's an electric cable that I've drilled a hole for through here, so that's just behind the heater inside the camper. This one was the one. This plug was the one with the two thin metal that you had to plug into the two different plastic connectors. So it looks like they've done that so that you can feed the two thin pins down through a little hole, so that you don't have to drill a really big hole to feed that whole plug through. So the heater is attached and connected with this pretty thick rubber harness. So for this hole, I had to drill from this side, because you can get in with your drill through here, but you can't through the other side. So then I've ended up feeding the fuel line up along the top of the frame, and then I've swung it around to, that's the left hand side as looking forward, and that's the right hand side as looking forward. We've got a jerry can on the front right, and I'll show you where that's come up. But there are some little holes. You can see the little one up there, so you don't actually have to drill through the frame to get them through. But I've just got these little copper 6mm little brackets, and I've attached them with little Tek screws all the way along. So here you can see the full bracket. It's the same bracket here, but I've just stuck the one end under the frame, so I haven't used the two holes, and that seems to be working pretty well. With the exhaust, this one was probably the hardest to get in, just because it was really tight. I wanted to have the muffler horizontal in this way, not vertical. So you could have installed it and it could have been hanging down this way, but I didn't want it to be sticking down. So this is the only place that I could really put it. So this hose apparently needs to be a minimum of 20 centimeters, which it is, but it just takes a bit of effort to get this around. And then I've ended up feeding it over the top of the frame between the main camper and the front box, and then out to the exhaust, out on this side, which is the right hand side facing forward. So that's the side where the shower is on, not where the door is. And I've got two more brackets holding this in. These are a bit hard to screw because you can only use your drill from this direction. So you had to pre-drill the holes before you could screw in those tech screws. I think that's it from that side. I'll just show you the... So that's the exhaust coming out at this location. And then at the front, so this is the little hole where the fuel line comes. So I've just cable tied it going up, and there's a jerry can here. And what I've done is I've drilled 2 holes, and I've put in, these are bike valves, so that look like this. And I've taken out the actual, the valve itself, so that these are just provide a line. So this one had to be cut off flush, so cut off down here so that the fuel line could go in. And I've actually got this one here as an air breather hose, so just to crack this this cap, just to allow for the air to go in there, so it's not trying to suck a vacuum. And then in the bottom there's a I'll show you some pictures of what I've got. I've just used a rubber hose and attached it to a little fuel filter, and just that's then weighted enough and pushed through enough to reach the bottom of the of this jerry can.